And welcome into the Sports Shuffle. It is August 10th, 2022. I am Flying Ryan Gokist along with.
Tampa Motor Mouth Joel Varell, not exactly what one would call a great day for uplifting sports stories, no?
No, I mean, other than the kid in the Little League World Series hugging the pitcher that beamed him in the head, mostly negative stories going on around the NFL. No major injuries so far for
What,
preseason. That's a good thing.
wasn't there, I forget what it was, a college or high school, somebody ended up trucking a catcher? I mean, it was a pretty big hit. I mean, it,
Oh,
it
I
was
didn't see
it
that.
was boom. I think, what, didn't John Boy talk about it? Maybe
Could have been. I haven't watched
uh,
his stuff in a minute. But yeah, we're here to talk some of the goings on in the NFL. Of course, like I said, no major injuries. I heard Russell Gage with a little thing today in
James,
the joint practice with the
Jameis
Dolphins.
Winston apparently is injured
Jameis with a foot injury.
again.
Melvin Gordon with
Like
a foot injury. Tim Patrick with the torn ACL last week was the big one. Mekhi Becton, the lineman for the Jets, also injured in the
Detroit,
last few days.
the
But
Detroit Lions are having early retirements for rookies. A lot of them apparently.
yeah, But yeah, we still no resolution to the Deshaun Watson
Oh, good God!
story.
Because this has turned from what should have been a very simple ruling. Okay, boom. Okay, he's suspended this long. This is how long he's going to be suspended for. This is when he can resume football again, and this has turned into a king size cluster of a reality show that I'm surprised that the Cleveland Browns aren't on Hard Knocks because they would almost be a so much better a candidate with all of the drama going on, with everything going on behind the scenes. Because of course we had the ruling from, of course, Judge Robinson that took absolutely freaking forever at sloth's pace to
yeah,
get out. Finally, you had then the 6 game suspension handed down in the general, well, of course, the general reaction was a WTF, thought of being very light. And apparently, that's the behind the scenes. We have apparently most of the owners apparently now feel that has been ridiculously light, not just the 6 game suspension, but the whole contract, his
yeah,
whole contract, all of his $230 million, how it's all layered out. Of course, that he's not getting any this year because he's going to be probably not going to play as it seems. But yeah, that just how it's, he's not going to get paid, but everything's bonus. But then it kicks in as starting next year, and then just and now we have the, of course, Roger Goodell had bringing in his designee to handle the appeal. It's gone from 6 games. It's gone to, apparently there were deals apparently made in the smoke-filled rooms and then not made, and now it has turned into year-long, if not indefinite suspension. And then I saw there's another blurb that apparently that everyone thinks that he's going to be in the preseason now. That there may even be a maneuver to get him to not play in the preseason. I saw somebody's quote. They said, "So is that actually not a punishment if he doesn't get to play in the preseason game, but in fact a reward?"
yeah. It sounds like he's going to play Friday. We'll see about all of that. Roger Goodell calling it his actions egregious and predatory, which them's fighting words in that case, because I know Deshaun Watson has been saying since day one, I've done nothing wrong. I've never disrespected a
My
woman in my life.
my
So
my one question. My one question, unless this is because of the CBA, because of everything going on behind the scenes, because of the animosity between the NFL and the NFLPA, is why, and of course, the question is non criminal legality because of the 2 grand juries. But my one question is, why the hell didn't they just initially, boom, you're suspended the entire freaking year indefinitely? Just boom, get it the hell out of the way, get it out early, here it is. Just why all this song
The
and
new
dance?
process. The
Yeah,
new
it's
process in the CBA had to go this way. And Sue Robinson said, hey, I think this is a terrible thing, but there's no precedent. And remember, when you're talking in legality and legal terms, there has to be a precedent. If there is one, you follow that. So they said nonviolent assault is typically a 6-game suspension. So that was the rationale there. The NFL disagrees and went, this one should be setting a new precedent. But only time will tell.
especially with the amount of instances and even potential instances that exist out there. If you look in that New York Times article, I don't know how much credence you give that, but if the with the potentiality out there of so many more, it just boggles the mind how many massage therapists one man could have had contact with in stuff. Yeah. This whole story is just it just boggles the mind. It really
I
really
mean,
does.
it does boggle the mind because it is one person acting in a way that sets them up for possibly, and it seems like a lot of negative thing. But the positive, the silver lining, the comedic relief, or the really screwed up coincidence, whatever we want to say, you can't make this up. Cleveland will play host to the National Massage Therapist Convention later this month.
And
So,
and the whole
Deshaun Watson, I think that's why he wanted to go to Cleveland. He's like, I don't want to go there. Like, they got the massage thing in August. He's like,
and
I'm going to Cleveland.
and the whole thing with that, you have to wonder why it is that the NFLPA figuratively picked Deshaun Watson as quote unquote using the military term of dying on the hill as he was their hill. That I just of all of the people out of all the cases of all that they could have picked to stand up to the NFL. I'm just going, this is the one you're picking. This instance, this case, Deshaun Watson, with what happened. I'm just trying to understand the reasoning behind trying to get behind it. I just don't understand. I can't.
I wish the NFL would have stepped in and just said, "Look, I know this is a new process, but this one has to be worse from the beginning. Just slap the suspension on and say, you know what, sue us. Do what you're gonna do. Just sue us and get this out of the way." They dragged their feet on it last year, waiting for the investigation, and he sat out, and that I think does throw a wrinkle in that he sat out all of last year. I know the contract. He got about a 40-something million dollar signing bonus, and his salary this year is only $1 million. So if he misses the entire year, he loses $1 million of game checks, which is basically the minimum for a veteran player. Uh, Also known as not that much in NFL terms.
Mm.
So it was an unpopular contract with the owners for all of it, let alone going to Deshaun Watson, everything going on behind the scenes with his legal issues. So it's a mess. It really is. We'll hopefully get a resolution here soon. I don't think it's going to linger into the regular season. I think that's going to be it. And I think at this point, it's the NFL going to come back and say, this is what we want. The other party, I don't remember the name offhand, they're going to go and say yes or no. They cannot give new information. They can't give new evidence. It's just based off the facts of the case. And they may go, he does deserve more, but the precedent set says 6 games, and we go
Not
from there.
not surprising that Kareem Hunt has asked for a trade.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt wants out of Cleveland. I think there's more to it than just the Deshaun Watson drama, but the drama is what was cited. Of course, Nick Chubb still going to be there, still going to be the big starter for the Browns in the backfield.
Beast
And then Ernest
mode.
Johnson. Ernest Johnson did make some noise when he had his opportunities with the COVID games and some injuries last year. So
Yeah,
I don't blame him for trying to get out of town. There's just
you know
nowhere to
how
go.
valuable to Ernest Johnson was if you started him at all in fantasy last year.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of fantasy, we will be starting our fantasy week coverage about this time next week. I'll actually already be 2 full drafts into the fantasy football season for redrafts as of this time next week. Crazy to think we're right there.
But we have two players who they're probably, well, I should say foreign players are probably glad that they're not in the NFL, because if they were, I'm sure with their actions, they could possibly have winded up on the commissioner's exemption list, like without even blinking. Because of
Yeah.
course, the first one, do you want to do for Frank, or do you want to do Mister I don't want to be fined first?
Let's do the second one because I haven't heard about that one yet.
Okay. Oh, you mean Mister Lynch?
Yeah, let's do that one first.
Yeah, because apparently, uh, Marshawn Lynch has had definitely what one would classify as ugh, what an interesting week to say the least. Former Seahawks, Raiders, and Bills running back Marshawn Lynch arrested for DUI in Las Vegas. Former Seahawks, Raiders, and Bills running back Marshawn Lynch was arrested Tuesday for allegedly driving under the influence. Las Vegas police confirmed Lynch, 36, was pulled over near the Las Vegas Strip around 7:25 a.m., according to TMZ. Why is it always according to TMZ? You notice, but
TMZ gets all those.
reportedly did not submit to a breathalyzer test, as you have the actual tweet from the LVMPD. The police conducted a vehicle stop at Fairfield Avenue and West Utah Avenue near Wyoming Las Vegas Boulevard on a driver later identified as Marshawn Lynch for suspected driver impairment, one of two. Second of two, through the course of the investigation, officers determined that Lynch was impaired and conducted arrest. Lynch was transported to Las Vegas City Jail and booked for driving under the influence. Of course, they have the not exactly what one would call a good looking picture when one is taken in under those circumstances. Of course, Lynch retired from the NFL again following the 2019 season with the Seahawks. It was his third retirement since 2015. Lynch initially called it quits in 2016, only to return to the NFL with the Oakland Raiders for the 2017 and 2018 season, retired again, and then signed with the Seahawks, of course, before the 2019. After 13 seasons, Lynch sits 29th on the NFL's rushing leadership board with 10,413 yards. Of course, since leaving the league, he's had few ownership groups. Yeah, and he was also reportedly being considered for Amazon Prime's Thursday Night Football,
Ooh.
but I don't think that offer is probably going to be continued after something like this. That they're going. Yeah. Can we get Collinsworth? Can we get that cat? You know, so I mean, it's like,
Uh, uh, Pro tip for football players: don't go to Vegas because bad things can happen. I mean, if you play for the Raiders, so be it. But yeah, don't go to Vegas if you are not a going to be responsible, because we saw, of course, Henry Ruggs last year with the car crash that murdered somebody. Kareem Hunt with his legal ongoing from the Pro Bowl that was in Las Vegas. Now Marshawn Lynch. It just seems to be a place where bad things happen if you don't be smart. And I've been to Vegas enough to see that, yeah, there's people doing dumb stuff all the time. So not a good look for Marshawn Lynch. And the other one, even worse, Frank
oh
Gore, who
yeah. Uh,
this
you,
is
if
bad.
if you want to go ahead and
Frank Gore, I
uh,
don't even want to go into the details of it.
just
Just
ba-
arrested for domestic violence,
that's the
abusing
best. Yeah, that's the
yeah,
best way
if
to
you want to
handle
get
the
the
story,
details,
Harish.
it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
Anytime an NFL player is doing domestic violence, it seems to be worse because they are physically built to destroy things and on the football field. And most your average woman is probably not. Let's just go that route. So, not a
yeah,
good look. Frank Gore arrested, and yeah, no, you don't want to do that.
yeah. This
So,
this makes the Ray Rice thing look like minor league.
yeah, I mean, I can still go back to that Ray Rice video and be like, she charged him in an elevator. Like, he's got a right to defend himself. But this is a whole different thing. So yeah,
Yeah, just anytime you tend to think about just football players are like just a whole different breed. Just oh
yeah. Um, let's go to some positive, just some
yeah,
fancy, some workshop stuff here, real quick.
yeah
Let's
yeah
talk about our
after
fantasy stuff coming up.
oh
Next Wednesday, going to be doing a pretty much normal podcast. Hopefully, we got some news and notes from the preseason.
hopefully some
Hopefully,
more
no major injuries.
uplifting stories than the
Yeah,
good
hopefully
God.
no major injuries. But if we have any major injuries, we'll talk about those on Wednesday,
Hopefully the
the 18th,
Watson suspension will finally be resolved, but I somehow
with any
doubt it.
luck. Yeah. So we'll be doing that. We can go over my two drafts that are going to be in the books by then. One on Saturday, one actually on Wednesday about 4 p.m. On Thursday, a little bit later than normal, around 7 to 8 p.m., we'll do a 16-team mock draft on Sleeper. We'll be doing a mock draft here in just a few minutes. Also on Sleeper, that one will be a 12-team mock just for the fun of it. The 16-teamer, of course, we have our big 16-team league that we will be, again, live
Not on the same night.
podcasting. Yes, we will be separating those two so we don't have an aneurysm looking at the screen for that long.
Also makes it
Yeah,
easier for bio breaks too, kids.
yes, because bathroom breaks are a real thing that are needed. So Thursday the 18th, we'll be doing a 16-team mock draft, kind of going through our thought and through the entire draft. On Friday the 19th, we're going to have a fantasy football poker night. We'll get into more what that is down the line, but yeah, we're gonna play a little bit of poker with some football guys. Um, yeah, nothing
We,
over the weekend
we don't have to
because
sing Elvis before the bright light. City gonna set my soul, gonna set my. Okay, fine. No,
no, I thought
no,
the
no
Kenny
Elvis.
Rogers, no one to hold,
Okay.
no one to fold them, but
Okay.
whatever. Nothing over the
No, sure.
weekend.
Well,
Gonna
yeah,
take that
Elvis.
off.
Viva Las Vegas.
Even lost. I mean, it works too. Nothing Saturday, nothing Sunday. I've got hockey on Sunday. Playoff game. Hopefully, we do well. Monday, we will
Yeah.
be doing our wide receiver, tight end projections, busts, and sleepers. On Tuesday, we will finish up our projections with quarterbacks and running backs. Again, projections, busts, and sleepers. On Wednesday, we'll do our pretty much a normal podcast. We'll be covering a lot of the news going on during that time. So probably time for a 10-team mock draft at the end of that one, like we'll do one here in a little bit. Thursday, August 25th at 8 p.m., we'll be doing our 10-team Sports Shuffle fans draft live. That one should take just about an hour and 10 minutes. Friday, August 26th, the big one, 7:30 p.m., the League of Winning, our 16-team live draft. That one takes about 2+ hours. So yeah, separating those two for the first time. They've always been back to back, which means by the end of the draft, you're ready to.
Sort of like your eyes are glazed
Yeah,
over.
yeah. You can't see straight. You need ibuprofen. It's not a good look. So we separate them, make life a little bit easier. Hopefully, anybody who's doing both won't get as fatigued. Of course, I won that league last year. Joel and I were in the championship game. I came out on top this time. So going to try and defend the title. We're not going to talk about the 10-team league because that one didn't go quite as well. I don't remember who won that one offhand. It wasn't either one of us, and neither one of us were particularly close.
That one was sort of a wink wink.
Yeah, I had Calvin Ridley was an early draft pick of mine, and that went real well. Anyways, we are going to do a 12-team PPR snake
I think
mock
that
draft
that was
now.
the one that I remember. The one of the leagues I ended up trading Terry McLaren, and the other one I kept Terry McLaren, and then I think that I ended the person that I traded for got injured. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
that was
not
exciting.
not a good feeling.
Wah,
So
wah.
we have already randomized the draft order. Joel will be picking second. He will be very close to the turn. I will be picking seventh, so I'm right in the middle of the round. Sleeper drafts go quick. I do not have the second laptop set up, so we will not be showing the draft board
If
today. We
if
will be
I
going forward.
if I may make a motion to the bio break before we do the draft.
Okay, Joel's gonna step away. I will explain some information.
We will be right back after
He will
these
be right
messages.
back. I will just keep talking and saying words here while we wait for Joel. Shout out to Scott Kusi with the Letterkenny reference. If you know, you know. If you don't know, go watch Letterkenny. You'll pick up on what it means. Scott is of course in our 16-team league. Has done pretty well each of the last 2 years. in that league since he joined. New member in that league named Corbin. We will probably not introduce a whole lot of people because, well, there's a lot going on. Anyways, Joel is still away. We will be starting the draft here soon. Let's go over the format of the teams while he is away. Again, 12-team, full PPR snake draft. The roster settings: 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, a tight end, a flex, which can be wide receiver, running back, or a tight end, kicker, defense, and 6 bench spots. Joel, again, picking out of the number 2 slot, and I'll be picking from number 7. We will be using Sleeper for our mock drafts. Our live drafts will be both on Yahoo. Joel is back. The stalling can end, and we can start the draft now. Joel, are you ready to go?
I am ready to rumble.
All right, hitting start draft, and here we go. Number 1 overall goes Christian McCaffrey. That's not unusual. Joel is on the clock. Pretty much open board outside of McCaffrey. He's thinking, of course. Oh, he goes Derrick Henry, then Eckler, Taylor, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Falls to me at 7. Option here of Cooper Kupp, Dalvin Cook, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon, Devontae Adams on the top of the board. Full PPR, I think I got to go Cooper Kupp here. He is just a PPR monster. As we go through the end of the round, Najee Harris, Dalvin Cook, Devontae Adams, Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, ending round 1. Round 2 turns around Travis Kelce, DeAndre Swift, Nick Chubb, CeeDee Lamb, Alvin Kamara. Falling back to me here, already have Kupp. Let's try something that I don't normally like doing. We'll start wide receiver, but the name at top is Tyreek Hill. I don't like that. Let's go down here to Deebo Samuel. Yeah. Followed up Josh Allen, Mark Andrews, Tyreek Hill, Aaron Jones, and then Joel on the clock after the Derrick Henry pick. What are you thinking here, Joel? He's thinking hard.
Gonna go Homer pick here.
Homer pick with Mike Evans. I like it. Dig it. Javonte Williams, Kyle Pitts on the turn to team 1, and back to Joel. As you go double Homer pick and go with Leonard Fournette, as you go a different direction here. Be real bold to go buck. Still thinking. I hear clicking going on in the background. Is he going to go running back? Is he going to go receiver? We have some options. He could go early quarterback. I guess in theory, you can go down and get one of those tight ends. Got 20 picks between his selections, so he can pretty much go where he wants to go here. Halfway through the timer, 1 minute and 5 left on the timer. The thinking is strong. Down to 40 seconds. Joel, you got someone in mind? Lots of thinking going on. And he does go buck. He goes with Fournette. All right, Connor, Elliott, Mahomes, and A.J. Brown follow up that pick. I've went Kupp and Deebo Samuel. Do I go back to the well of pass catchers, or do I go with a running back? Saquon Barkley, top of the list. Keenan Allen, T. Higgins, Justin Herbert, Cam Akers, and David Montgomery. Frankly, I like my odds of getting somebody specific on the way back. Let's take the chance on Saquon Barkley. I don't love it as my running back 1, but it's an option. We got to go and make a choice at some point. Following that pick, Keenan Allen, Cam Akers, Justin Herbert, Darren Waller, T. Higgins to finish out round 3. Waddle, McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, David Montgomery, and George Kittle coming back to me. That makes my choice here pretty easy. I'm going to go with Michael Pittman Jr. of the Colts. Now it's back to Joel. The picks between Pittman and Joel. Brees Hall, Travis Etienne, Antonio Gibson, and DJ Moore. Joel so far, Derrick Henry, Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette. The Buck combo could work out really nicely. Top picks on the ADP side of things: Josh Jacobs, DK Metcalf, Lamar Jackson, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Joe Burrow, Mike Williams, and J.K. Dobbins. Joel will have the pick in 2 picks because of the turn. And when we do the rest of the mock drafts, we will have a different monitor so we can bring it to you. For whatever reason, this program no longer wants to let us share screens, so we can't just say, hey, here's our draft board. Let's see what's going on. Oh, no, it does. Look at that. All right, maybe I got to pull something up here because we need to be able to see everything nice and cleanly. Now, where is all my Sports Shuffle stuff? All right, so he went Metcalf, then Lamar Jackson, Allen Robinson. Russell Wilson was his quarterback pick in the 5th round. Josh Jacobs, Mike Williams, Marquise Hollywood Brown, Chris Godwin right before mine. And as we pull up, oh boy, this is not a place I like to be where I'm light on running backs. I think we're going to take the chance here, go for an upside wide receiver with Cortland Sutton. Kupp, Samuel, Barkley, Pittman, Sutton, so far my roster. As we continue to see what happened, Joe Burrow, Jerry Jeudy, Amari Cooper, Elijah Mitchell, Kyler Murray to end out round number 5. Miles Sanders, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Brandon Cooks, J.K. Dobbins. Back to me. At this point, it's got to be a running back or else we're going to be in real tough shape. Best available is going to be A.J. Dillon. I think he's going to have a good role, so let's take A.J. Dillon here. Dalton Schultz, Juju, Adam Thielen, and Jalen Hurts. Coming back to Joel. Joel with Henry, Evans, Fournette, Metcalf, and Russell Wilson.
I'm going to probably hate myself in the morning.
Oh, no. He got T.J. Hawkinson. I mean, if you're going to go early tight end, that's not the worst thing you can do. Thomas Harris on the turn, back to Joel. Joel looking to fill his flex with this one by the looks of things. Because he's got the running back. He's got 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a quarterback, and a tight end. Only starting position left is kicker defense, which will likely wait quite a bit of time. And the flex. So Joel looking at the flex. The options here: Darnell Mooney, DeAndre Hopkins, who is suspended. 6 games for those PEDs. Dallas Goedert, if he wants to double up on tight end. Rashad Bateman, Kenneth Walker, Drake London. And he goes with Goddard. He does double up on the tight end. That's an interesting strategy. Definitely can pay dividends if it works out for you. I'm in a really rough position here with the running back. So let's go ahead. We're going to have to reach here a little bit. This is a full PPR, so we're going to go and take Tony Pollard. He should have a passing down role for the Cowboys. That gives me at least a 3rd running back. I don't know who else is going to be there when it gets back to me here in a second. And with the theory of, well, that's a passing running back, let's go and get his quarterback in Dak Prescott. One of the last ones to take a quarterback in this league so far. Joel back on the clock. Move some stuff around here on the screen. There we go. Joel with Chase Edmonds. I was kind of hoping he'd fall back down to me, but no luck on that one. Renfro and Woods on the turn. So to recap, Joel's team: Henry, Evans, Fournette, Metcalf, Wilson, Hawkinson, Goddard, Ayuk with the new pick, and Chase Edmonds. Let's go over mine. Kupp, Samuel, Barkley, Pittman, Sutton, Dillon, Pollard, and Dak Prescott. So still in pretty bad shape at the running back position. Not a whole lot of options out there. So at this point, I think you take best available, highest upside. Let's go with Chris Olave. going to be a receiver for the Saints this year. We don't know what's going on with Michael Thomas. Coming back around, the rumors are actually good that James Robinson might be the starter in Jacksonville. So we're going to take a shot that he actually plays and get him on the roster as well, because we are very shallow at running back. This is not going to be a good running back roster on my side of things. Joel back up as we finish off round number 10. And he goes with another quarterback in Baker Mayfield, Boyd, and Spiller. Right now, Baker Mayfield does have the inside track to start for the Carolina Panthers, so it could be a very interesting pick right there. Down to 5 rounds to go. Alexander Madison, the pick for Joel right there. Coming back to me, I've heard nothing but good things about Dameon Pierce out of Houston, so we're going to grab him there. Again, very, very light at the running back position for my team so far, so we're going to take a chance on that one. All right, now we are back on the clock here. Not a lot of great selections around, so what are we going to do here? Pretty much a balanced build so far. I don't have a tight end, so that probably is the right way to go, but there's not a lot there at all.
If only the real draft took this quickly.
Yes. Well, all the auto picks won't be there. I'm gonna actually just full punt on the tight end position for right now. We'll come back to that a little bit later. Let's go with oh God, there's just nothing out here at all that's worth grabbing. So let's go with somebody that has potential upside. Let's go with Julio. Let's see if Julio Jones, he's coming back. He's coming back in the league. He's going to be with Tom Brady this year. Maybe he's going to be a factor. 12th round, you can take a shot at somebody who's got some upside. It gets thin quick in a 12-team league. It's thin even quicker in a 16-teamer. Of course, we have kickers and defense coming up fairly soon. In the next 3 rounds, Joel with pick 11 of the 12th round goes with Johan Dotson. That was someone I was kicking around, high upside. Pickens and Algier on the turn. Back to Joel, who takes the chance on Marlon Mack. I like the pick there. I know who I'm picking with my last pick, so I'm going to go and do kicker now, get Evan McPherson, try and get a jump on it. Looks like the kicker run has officially started as we get towards the end of this draft. I don't really care too much about defense, but I'll go with the Packers. Packers are going to have a good defense this year. And then as we get to the last couple of picks here in this draft, they took them. Oh, boy, that's not nice of them. So now I have to find another player to select here. Joel's draft has been completed. Let's take a shot on Hardman. Last round pick. It's someone you want to hope for upside and see what happens. So this draft has come to an end. Let's go over Joel's team first. Quarterback, Russell Wilson. Running backs, Derrick Henry, Leonard Fournette in the starting spot. Edmonds in the flex. Madison and Marlon Mack on the bench. At wide receiver, Mike Evans and DK Metcalf. On the bench, Brandon Ayuk and Johan Dotson. Tight ends, TJ Hawkinson and Dallas Goedert. And let's see, kicker, Nick Folk. Defense, the New England Patriots. So Patriots on the special teams unit. So how do you feel about that draft? Where do you think you would like to be stronger in a real draft than you are here?
Probably good as far as the starting quarterback, probably the running back and the wide receiver goes. Just any draft, I think it's always the question of depth when you get down to it, like with Mack and Madison. It's just the natural progression. You start from the starters, and then you just hope they don't get injured.
Yeah. I'm going to have you look at the draft board, see what team that wasn't one of ours you really like while I go over my team. And then we'll cover a couple of the highlights for the rest of it, and then we'll wrap this one up. So for myself, quarterback, Dak Prescott. I did not draft a tight end, by the way. That was the part of the problem. I was going to take Njoku, but they took him. But I would have to drop Hardman to get a tight end. Uh, Dak Prescott at the quarterback spot. Saquon Barkley, A.J. Dillon at the running back position as the starters. Tony Pollard, James Robinson, and Damian Pierce coming to round out the running back core. Wide receiver, this is the strength. Cooper Kupp, Debo Samuel, Michael Pittman, Cortland Sutton, Chris Olave, and Julio Jones, and Mecole Hardman. Again, no tight end. I punted. I'll pick someone up off of waivers with this type of team. Evan McPherson at kicker and the Packers defense to round that out. Obviously, the weakness here is the running back. Barkley, if he is healthy, might return to all pro form. I think Dillon and Pollard's an interesting play because both will have relevance. Zeke and Aaron Jones a little bit older. There's some risk that there's going to be some passing work going to these two, and they might get some rushing work. Of course, injury is always at play. But I really like my wide receiver stack early. I kind of wish I wouldn't have went Pittman or Sutton and got a running back like an Elijah Mitchell, Brees Hall, Travis Etienne, just to solidify things. But overall, I like the team. I do need to figure out the tight end, but there's nothing really available.
My two gambles definitely Henry coming back from the injury. There always has to be some kind of concern. And the even bigger gamble definitely has to be TJ Hawkinson with the very, very disappointing year that he had last year that really stymied a lot of fantasy owners when you had all the weeks that you'd started and he did an absolute went while you're just looking and going, what happened? Injured again, injured again, injured again. And you're just hoping whatever that was that hampered him with that injury last year is not going to carry over into this year, and you're hoping that he has conquered it.
Yeah. And is there a team that drafted that you have seen that you really liked what they built? That was not the two of us.
That was not the two of us. The one that automatically that I think I kind of like the most is has to be Team 10 with the Adams, Chubb, and Herbert thing going on. I don't know why. I think that combination could be a pretty lethal triumvirate if all the numbers fall in the right places. Don't ask me why, but if Herbert is Herbert again, and then with those two other, just ooh, that could be a massive, massive trinity of fantasy goodness.
Yeah, all three of them do have positional number one overall possibility. I think Chubb's probably the longest shot to hit the RB1 just because it's PPR and he doesn't catch a lot of passes. But if Kareem Hunt finds his way out of town, that could change. Let's go over that full team real quick. Justin Herbert at the quarterback, Nick Chubb, Clyde Edwards-Helaire at running back starters, Ramondre Steven, Naheem Hines on the bench. Wide receiver Devontae Adams, Deontay Johnson, Amari Cooper, Gabe Davis, and Kadarius Toney and Kenny Galladay. Kadarius Toney looking like the alpha for the Giants. Tight end Dawson Knox and Irv Smith Jr. Prater and the Colts defense. So a pretty good solid roster all the way around. I've got two, but I'm going to highlight team number 4. I think they got lucky that Jonathan Taylor fell. I'm not sure. What was your logic between Taylor and Henry at number 2, just out of curiosity? Because honestly, I think those top 4 are going to be your top 4. It's just the order and preference. So what was the reason for going Henry over Eckler and Taylor?
Just I'm looking for him to have a very strong year coming back. Eckler, there was definitely some concern, I think, towards the latter part of the year. So I don't know. I just tend to have more stock with Henry than I do with Eckler.
Yeah, Henry coming off the foot injury, but is fully recovered. Played in the playoff game. Didn't play great, but he had been out for 10 weeks. Full off season should be 100% healed. The re-injury risk is very low. Austin Eckler does have some rumors that Isaiah Spiller might take some touches and some goal line carries away from him, but he was fantastic last year. But again, team 4 for me. Getting Jonathan Taylor at pick number 4 really sets you up nicely because that is just, I think number 4 is actually a sweet spot because, like I said, those top 4 guys, that's probably going to be your top 4, and you'll be fine with all 4 of them. Even if you want to go with Kupp, Jefferson, or Chase, who went after, you'd be fine there. But Jonathan Taylor at 4 is a steal. Tyreek Hill, I think a lot of people are sleeping on. He is a little bit overpriced right now in the second round, but he falls to the third round. That's fine. I think Zeke's going to have a pretty good year running the ball. I think Pollard's going to be more of a receiving threat. Antonio Gibson's been a top 12 running back every year he's been in the league. There is some risk that he falls off and some carries go another way. But to start with Taylor, Zeke, and Gibson, I think you're doing really well.
You know,
Tyreek Hill,
you know
very solid.
which team could be a sneaky stealth ninja could be Team 12. Diggs,
Team 12.
Kelsey, and Higgins.
I like. Here's the thing I like about this team. It went Diggs, Kelsey, Higgins, Waddle, Kyler Murray. You've got Stephon Diggs, guaranteed to be a huge part of the Bills' offense, a great offense. Travis Kelsey is right now the number one threat for the receiving and running back core for the Chiefs, and that's going to be a good offense. T. Higgins, a lot of hype. He's been projected to be borderline wide receiver 1, maybe high-end wide receiver 2. And Jalen Waddle, people, we were talking about Tyreek Hill a second ago. They're sleeping on Jalen Waddle because Tyreek Hill. Don't forget, this guy was a PPR monster, most receptions by a rookie of all time. Tyreek's going to open up a lot of space. Jalen Waddle will be a factor for the Dolphins this year. I think that offense is going to be a lot better. And Kyler Murray, quarterback, that's very solid. But what I like about this team is 6, 7, and 8, the rounds. Miles Sanders, Rashad Penny, and Cordero Patterson. That's 3 starting running backs that you got late. That Miles Sanders, 0 rushing touchdowns next year. That's going to improve. Rashad Penny won people leagues last year if they had the courage to play him in the playoffs. And Cordero Patterson was a surprise from start to finish, tapered off at the end. There's a chance that Algier takes some role or some other running back, but not bad. And then to finish off, got Lawrence late. So if something happens to Murray, you have a potential breakout there. Claypool, Landry, Watson, Ravens defense, Matt Gay. So pretty good team. Back to team 4 just to wrap that up. Taylor, Elliott, Gibson, Tyreek Hill, Mike Williams, Adam Thielen, another person I think a lot of people are sleeping on because he's getting a little older, but he's been a touchdown monster for his entire career.
And how about both of these? Well, actually, you would have 3, I think, injury concerns in Team 11. Of course, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift, and of course, Terry McLaurin. Out of those 3, who do you tend to think would be the best choice for to minimize injury if you were picking?
Well, before we go into that, don't forget Darren Waller has been out of practice for about 10 days with an undisclosed injury. It may be contract related, maybe injury. It's not out there. I like the Joe Mixon pick. His offensive line got a lot better. He was a running back 4 last year, overall RB4. That's very good. He was part of why I won our league, the 16-teamer. DeAndre Swift had a kind of odd shoulder injury going into his 3rd year. Should be very good. Terry McLaurin, I think the biggest problem with Terry McLaurin is that he's got Carson Wentz now. I really think that weighs him down. We saw Michael Pittman do wide receiver 17, I think it was last year, with Carson Wentz, and they realized really early on, hey, let's just hand the ball to Jonathan Taylor. That seems to be working better. So I like the Mixon pick. I like the Swift pick. Waller pick, a little risky at 311. McLaurin, I like Pittman better. I like Metcalf. I like DJ Moore better. I like Mike Williams.
So you would go DK over McLaurin all day.
Honestly, I'm looking. Let's do this in order. Around McLaurin, right before him, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, then Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson. I'm not high on him just because the quarterback situation. We'll see. Michael Pittman getting Matt Ryan, I think, is a huge upgrade. DJ Moore getting Baker Mayfield.
Well, when you're going from Ben Roethlisberger to Mitchell Trubisky, that's a huge dump.
I don't know. The way Ben Roethlisberger played the end, I'm not sure. But that one I'm not sold on. I like Pittman. I like Moore. I like Metcalf, even though it's Geno Smith right now. I think Allen Robinson's going to be sneaky good coming to Matt Stafford. Mike Williams was the wide receiver 12 last year. Hollywood Brown's going to be the alpha
quarterback
for the first
literally is limping out into the field. That's not a good sign.
Yeah. I mean, Marquise Hollywood Brown is going to be the number 1 receiver for the Cardinals for the first 6 weeks. There's no DeAndre Hopkins.
Isn't he in a bit of a legal trouble too, I think?
Yeah, criminal speeding, though. It's not going to be a suspension thing. And then who I got in the 5th round, I took Michael Pittman, and then I came back and got Cortland Sutton. I like both of those much better than Terry McLaurin for this year for the pure fact, straight and simple, Carson Wentz is trash. That's why I'm trying to trade him away in Dynasty League when I don't even need to play him.
You know,
So
when
that's an interesting team.
commanders betters everywhere were probably like Darth Vader going no.
Yeah, there were about 20 quarterbacks taking Carson Wentz, not one of them. So take that for what you will. But yeah, that's our mock draft. We'll do more of these again. I figured out halfway through we could actually share the screen. We tried to do that last week and it said no. Yeah,
Because technology.
yeah. So let's see if we can do what I need to do here. Hold on. That doesn't make it any better. I was hoping that would stretch it out, but it's okay.
Wouldn't it be great? You can
Anyways,
just like magically like.
yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice. Oh, I pulled Joel. I didn't mean to pull Joel. I meant to pull
Okay.
his logo. Hey, he's coming back. I got
Hey,
it.
hey, hey, hey!
Hey,
Jeez,
you know what they
I
say
get
about
no respect.
preseason form, right?
Sheesh.
You know what they say about being in preseason
No
form. We have to
respect.
get everything going again. That's all this is. This is our first mock draft. A little bit clunky on the tech. We'll get there. Yeah, it's just what it is.
Buttons.
What I need to do is find out how to get.
I'm getting dizzy here.
Yeah, I know. I need to try and figure out how to get the draft board where it's like bigger and we get little boxes, but I can't seem to figure that out because it wants to put me in the big box because that's where I'm at and I don't want to get everybody dizzy again. So we'll just hide
Oh,
that.
a dream. A dream would get not like dizzy, and not a dream would be like those. I think it probably beyond our budget, but like those huge touch screens that they use like on ESPN, and you're there and you're like moving. And, oh man, just to be able to do that once.
I'd be interested to see if I can
Oh
just mount a TV screen behind me and do a draft there.
yeah.
Probably not the
Did you
best
see
idea,
there
but
was the blurb? It was the weatherman who didn't realize that his monitor was a touch screen. Then all of a sudden he realized that he could move the map in and out, and all of a sudden he just became like a gigantic kid on
yeah.
live on as he was rocking, and he was like. Ooh. It was just like one of those moments. It's like, okay, it gives you hope that we're gonna be okay.
Oh
It
yeah.
just
So
just gives you hope.
all right, let's move into final thoughts. This actually has been a fairly long podcast for one that didn't have a lot to talk about in the beginning. So, Joel,
Well,
we'll
my
defer to
my
you.
thing is that I don't know. My hope is that we can reach some kind of resolution for the whole Deshaun Watson nonsense, and so we can.
Breaking news on Deshaun Watson. Browns announced Deshaun Watson scheduled to start in preseason opener versus Jaguars. While we're on the
Hallelujah,
topic,
hallelujah, holy bleep! Where's the Tylenol? So it's yeah. As I saw the other blurb from PFT that oh yeah, now they're going to move that he's not going to be in the preseason. That the NFLPA is like yeah, but go moving back to what I was trying to say before you ended up saying the news. I just want to be able to. We can move over to football. We can move over to who's going to have the the better year, the Browns, or is it going to be the Panthers? Is it going to be Mayfield? Is it going to be Watson, or more than likely Brissett? Just we want to be able to put this whole ridiculous. I think it's beyond ridiculous. Deshaun Watson thing behind us. It should be taken care of. He shouldn't be suspended. It should be resolved. It's like enough. It's like I don't know if you ever saw the movie 1776. It was a musical, and but one of the lines was about John Adams always going against Congress, and the whole song they would always hum, "For God's sakes, John, sit down," and that's just sort of how this whole entire thing feels like. For God's sakes, Deshaun, sit down. Rogers, we want this to be over with, to go into normal football. It's just insane. I can't remember a story, a player, something that has happened that has just been so unbelievably insane.
yeah, this one it's just a weird one. So, Anyways, my final thought is I am spreading the disease of fantasy football addiction. I was told at work, somebody was brand new to it last year. We did a big work five league like
Hey, there are
Vegas
worse things to
kind of
spread.
thing. Yeah, and the person first time in it, they bounced some ideas off of me. This year came up to me, he's like, I got to do more. Joined a random league and like we got to get an office, just our office league going. So yeah, spreading that around. Looks like 13 leagues as of now. That was what it was supposed to be last year until we did this auction that we won. So probably looking at another 14 or maybe even a new high 15 league season going forward. It's a problem, but it's a good problem. I mean, hey, some people are addicted to
There,
math or crack, and I am addicted to fantasy football.
there,
And
there
frankly,
are there are worse things out there to be addicted to. I think I read something that what was the you had a guy who's I don't know how many thousands of dollars that they spent on a new mobile game, Diablo Immortal, and that it's the amount that you need to be able to actually rank up a character full. I kid you not. I read was something on the order of 100,000 freaking dollars to fully rank up a character in a virtual world. I mean, like three words that I've learned that are the most deceptive words in the English language are free to play.
yeah, I thought the three words were gonna be what the. Never mind. Um, because
Ah,
why even get the game if you're gonna pay $100,000 to be good at something? Why even play? Why play the game? Just save your money and find a different hobby. I don't know. Go do what I do in
wow.
my free time. Go throw frisbees at trees and curse at those. Like you'll save a lot of money over 100 grand. You
There's
can't buy that
actually
much disc golf
a
stuff.
job I saw that they're actually offering for people to come and sleep on Casper, and it's an actual job where they pay you to sleep.
I could do that. I could definitely do that job. That's a job I feel like I am qualified for. Yeah. So fantasy week again, starting on the 17th, doing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then we'll really dive
Hopefully, with
into the
more positive news this time. Good God,
yes, less domestic
what
violence, no criminal speeding,
what a
no
depressing day
drunken
for news.
anger at Vegas.
Good God.
It never stops, man. The craziness never stops. All crazy all the time is what we always said. So, well. Anyways, that wraps up our show for today. Hopefully, it was entertaining and informative. First mock draft we've done. Not the first one I've done. I think I'm in the 40s or 50s by now, and that's not including the rookie drafts for dynasty leagues that have already been completed and all those mock drafts. So, getting ready for the season. Joel, what do we got? 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks until
And
our two
counting.
drafts. Yeah, and then yeah, the the season will be upon us in less than actually a month from tomorrow is the opening
Hopefully, with
Sunday.
less COVID this time. Hopefully.
No protocols this year. No protocols. Going to be treated like a regular
God.
illness. We'll see what that. We'll see. That's going to be very interesting. But we'll get into that another time because that I
So
think is
we
going to take
won't
another
have
like 20
Tuesday
minutes.
night football again. Good God.
No Tuesday night football. Rumors of a Black Friday game coming next year though.
I saw that.
Adding to
I
the
saw that.
Thanksgiving. That's going to be pretty cool on Amazon Prime. And the reason they're not doing it this year, the FIFA World Cup, USA
Amazon
England on
Prime,
Black
which
Friday.
would probably will not have Marshawn Lynch now.
Probably not.
Wah, wah.
Anyways, that's our time. I'm flying Ryan Gilchrist along with.
Tampa Motormouth, Joel Verlin.
And with that, be good people out there in the world. Don't follow Frank Gore's example.
Oof.
Anyways, we own.